Much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are trying a slightly different version of the estimates this year. The government has been quite insistent that we move away from a committee of supply situation where the estimates are debated here in the House and using a common system there. So we have moved into debating the estimates in committees, in this particular case in debating all of the estimates in the legislative policy committees. What we believe, the three House leaders believe, that we had an understanding of what the rotation would be. That has not come to fruition. And I will note that there's a number of cases where when we, the Assembly, or indeed even possibly in committee, decide the way we want to conduct our business, that trumps what we find in the supposedly higher orders of parliamentary procedure, for example, Beauchesne and parliamentary procedure in the House of Commons. But there's a number of places where that happens. We disagree with what they're saying, but it's our rules, and we get to play by them when we all agree. And that happens in a couple of different cases I'll just raise. Oops, sorry, wrong piece of paper. Not too many of them now. Oh, no, it's not going to leap into my hands. Sorry about that. Oh, minority reports is an example. We allow them. House of Commons wouldn't, or not in the same way. In the House of Commons, they allow consideration of estimates. In the committees, we don't. There's two examples of where we've written our own rules and we agree to abide by them. Where our rules, our standing rules, are silent, we default to these higher authorities in trying to figure out how to conduct our business. Now, what's happened is that in our standing orders under, oh my God, I moved my page. Shoot. That's your fault. Sorry. Sorry, I had it marked, and now I'm going to be fishing. Sorry, let me go back. Yeah. No, I'm looking under the delegation to the policy committees and how the rotation will work. So I think that's going to turn up in 50. Thank you. 59.6. That's it. That's really good. Thank you very much, Government House Leader. So what we ended up with, oh, I know what's wrong. Sorry, two different standing orders. I haven't managed to transfer all my notes yet. My apologies. Okay. Exactly. So we have it very specifically set out how we will do it in the first 3 hours of debate, or slightly less than the first 3 hours. A very specific rotation. At the end of that, it says any member may speak thereafter, which would be something sub C sub F. What that doesn't give us is the rotation of any member. So what's happened is we could have the designated critic is sitting in the committee. They have been substituted in order to have voice and vote and the ability to move motions, and they're recognized, but then in the next go-round, any member can and has been recognized as being another member of that particular party, but not the critic themselves. What we're missing here is the specificity on how the rotation goes. I would argue the rotation should repeat the rotation that's already agreed to. So we would go back to a specified amount of time for the official opposition party, a shorter amount for the third and fourth parties. That's not what's happening. And as my colleague has pointed out, what we have is an inconsistency between the three committees, and everybody's doing it differently. Now, there's often argument in this House about the privilege and respect due to opposition members and the role they hold that is specific to opposition as compared to government backbenchers. And I have been reviewing that, Mr. Speaker. And I note that in the House of Commons, it quite specifically recognizes the importance of the opposition in holding the government to account, and specifically states certain committees of which they will be the chair. And I think that shows us, well, it definitely demonstrates the holding to account of the government by the official opposition, specifically around money so the 4 committees are the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, example number 1, and we follow that in this particular assembly because the chairperson of Public Accounts is a member of the official opposition. In the Parliament and Standing Committee adds in the status of women, access to information, and, Mr. Speaker, the Standing Committee on Government Operations and Estimates. So the committee to which the estimates are referred in our House of Commons, and that is also chaired by a member of the official opposition, which underlines again the importance and special duty that opposition members have to hold the government to account when it comes to estimates and public accounts. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the standing orders there ask that the chair is a member of the official opposition. I'm sorry, this is appearing on page 1036 and 1037 of the House of Commons Policy and Procedure. The standing orders specify that the chair is a member of the official opposition, the vice chair is a member of government, and the second vice chair is a member of another opposition party. That's how important it is for opposition members to hold the government to account with its past financial obligations in public accounts and future by way of estimates. The other thing I find very interesting, Mr. Speaker, appears on page 1030, which is about the duties and powers of chairs, vice chairs, and acting chairs. Now, it says chairs are very important. In fact, when there is not a chairperson available for a committee, no business is done until there's a chairperson that is in place. And I note that they must follow what the committee has decided or what has been referred to them from the House. So specifically on page 1030, under procedural responsibilities, it says they, meaning the chairs, ensure that any rules established by the committee, I'll underline that, put my emphasis on it, including those on apportioning of speaking times, are respected. Now, we did not vote in the committees on what the apportioning would be. That partial instruction, and I say it's partial, came from the House when they approved the changes to the standing orders, and it is partial because it does not give us the second rotation or the second part 2 or the second at-bat or however you want to describe it. We have a new system of doing things this year where we expanded the amount of time that was assigned to certain ministries, and that was agreed upon. Those ministries are, in the most part, getting 6 hours, a 3-hour piece and a 3-hour piece. So we have a designation available in our standing orders that set out the rotation for part 1, for the first section. And that is what appears in standing order, God help me, on page 36 and 37. Thank you. It's a certain number, 59.016. And everything that follows. So you've got the minister for 10 minutes, official opposition for an hour, 20 minutes for the third party, 20 minutes for the fourth party, 20 minutes for the government members, and then this very unhelpful Part F, any member may speak thereafter. Now, what we don't have here is a specific rotation, and that is our complaint in this particular case. We've been given not enough information to make decisions on, and unfortunately the chairs of the committee have also not been provided with adequate information and instruction to be able to carry out their duties. And as a result, we've got 3 different chairs with 3 different decisions. We're asking people to operate in an inconsistent manner between the committees, and we have, I believe, abdicated our responsibility to recognize and uphold the particular duties that opposition members have to hold the government to account, which I believe I have explained through the quotations that I've already given you. So we are asking, and I will echo my colleague, the leader of the fourth party and the NDP caucus, that this should be resolved, that all parties should be consistent, and I believe that the rotation should go back and repeat the rotation that we've already agreed on, and therefore should go back to more time for the official opposition and a prorated amount of time for the third-party and fourth-party opposition. Ditto for the government members, and then we can start that rotation over again. So thank you very much for the opportunity to run through that. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for allowing me to bring those points to you.